Here we are, 85 Davenport Street, Mass Observation Headquarters. Not quite the Ritz, granted, but a damn sight more exciting. The great and the good gathered under one roof. Can you sense something in the air? Yes, that'll be the damp. Still, more civilized than the sixth form common room, eh, old chap? Now, when our learned friend, Mr. Harrison, decides to wake up, we'll gather round and await our instructions. Now, today, he may want us to observe Bolton's tea drinking habits, or find out what it is that people actually do on allotments all day, or even discover where they stand on tripe. Have you tried it? It's the stomach of a cow, completely inedible, if you ask me. Still, this isn't about me. As Mr. Harrison likes to tell us, we are here to observe the people of Bolton in order to understand them. A word of warning, while it's just us, you see, the people of Bolton aren't quite ready to understand people like us yet. I don't mean our accents so much as our preferences. Let's just say they're not quite as understanding as Lolly. People around here certainly wouldn't turn a blind eye to two men or two women enjoying each other's company the same way that my wife does. Let's keep that part of things hidden then, agreed? Good. In some ways, I suppose that approach rather helps my art to be present in a moment and yet removed at the same time. It's what all we photographers strive for, is it not? Take this, for example. Where is it? Yes. Now, Blackpool, a few weeks ago. Now, I'd wager that half of Bolton is on that beach. Once a year, the whole town packs its bags and heads to the seaside, so of course I dutifully joined them. It's the men paddling in the sea who catch my eye. They're a funny sight. Looking thoroughly unimpressed, being up to their knees in water, their shirts buttoned up and their hands tucked in their pockets. They all look rather stranded. One of them calls over to his pal, "You coming in, lad?" "Don't be mad, you'll not drown." His friend stays sitting rigid in a deck chair. I can't help but compare it to that summer by the beach with Christopher and Hines, those endless sunny days on Rugen Island. Have you met Christopher Isherwood? He's a frightfully talented writer, so more often than not a complete nightmare to be around. That summer was different, though. I've got a photograph somewhere. Ah, yes. The smooth rocks under my feet, feeling of salt on my skin, and the feeling above all else of total freedom. We made a little world, we three, one which started in that bedroom in the attic and went as far as where the sea met the sky. Christopher would write during the day and share tidbits about the splendid Sally Bowles at night. I'd go out with my camera. Hines would sunbathe. Other men may have drifted in and out, but those days belonged to us. Lolly felt miles away in every sense. Even though she and I were still in our early days, she understood. She always does. That first night in Blackpool, I can't sleep, so I go out for a midnight wander. I spy two chaps on the merry-go-round from halfway across the fair. The smaller of the pair, the machine's operator, is holding the other chap up on the horse, his hand placed lightly on the small of the rider's back. They're both laughing as if they're the only two people in the world in on some joke. As the carousel turns and turns, they disappear out of sight every few seconds before emerging again, then vanishing as quickly as they appear. I watch for a few minutes. Next thing I know, whether it's due to the angle of the rider's hat or the jaunty tune playing or the horses floating up and down and out of time, but I suddenly feel myself starting to cry. It feels wrong to watch. Sea air's got them carried away. Even so, they say any inhibitions lost in Blackpool can ruin a person's reputation. I pull myself together, turn around and head back to my lodgings. My camera never leaves its case. How is it that one can feel like a foreigner in their own country? Yet that's how it is here in Bolton. I might as well have been stepping onto the moon that first day here. I dare say it was the same for you today, was it not? It's the smog which greets me as I step off the train, so heavy that I can feel it weighing me down. The crowd carry me along, so I don't have much choice in which direction I go. I look to the buildings to gather my bearings. Red brick, grey wall, chimney. Red brick, grey wall. Not much help. I walk through conversations and trespassing on this new language, tripping up on foreign words. It were cracking. Meet you top of Bradshaw Gate. No, do with me. I stopped to catch my breath when, what sheets, you big great lummox? And so I've arrived. Bolton. Nowhere do I feel more other than in pubs, and in no pub more so than the Saddle Hotel. I was there just a few evenings ago. I step inside, and much like Bolton itself, the smoke is what greets me. I battle my way through the fug to reach the bar. There I am met by a wall of silence from the half-dozen other punters. I think of engaging them in polite chit-chat, but decide against it. Now does not seem like the time to tell people of my travels with Christopher Isherwood. This does not seem like the place for Christopher and his kind. Instead, I opt for a nod and a tip of the cap. From halfway across the bar, I spot a young man, roughly my age, with the most piercing blue eyes. He looks lost. With my subject now in sight, I begin to position my camera underneath my coat, ready to... BAM! My camera is knocked halfway across the bar. I look up to see the landlord standing there, towel over his shoulder, frown upon his face, ordering me to leave, albeit in more forceful Anglo-Saxon. And yet, within the stream of profanities which pour from his mouth, it's one sentence that cuts through me. Sissies and perverts are not welcome here. All the way home, I mull these words over in my head, wondering what I've done to give the game away. Perhaps he's heard rumours or caught the way I was looking at that chap. Whatever it is, I feel exposed. I shut the front door and feel the weight lift from my shoulders, thankful to be back in my cramped, flea-ridden, ramshackle home. Here, in this little patch of Bolton we've claimed as our own, the freedom we found within its walls. All the worlds I've created or been a part of come back to me. The summer house on Rugen Island, the bliss of a solitary dark room, my partnership with a wonderful woman for whom love is love. beautiful and true in whatever form it takes. And those young fellows at the fairground, whose world was a snatched moment in the twilight hours. Any one person in the Saddle Hotel who is yet to find their world and perhaps never will. I never did take that photograph of the merry-go-round. I never got to capture that lost fellow in the pub. It's not enough to just be there, hiding behind the lens. What does it matter who's behind the camera if you ignore what's right in front of you? Holding the mirror up to nature, they say, but not all nature, only the parts that they pick and choose. And if people like us are not seen, how can we ever possibly be understood? One day, and I'm quite sure of it, people of our kind will be seen at the fun fair, in the pub, on the street. One day, our stories will be told and we will be heard. One day, our photographs will hang proudly in galleries and on museum walls. We will be seen. I have an idea. We should take a photograph of one another right now, right this second. Let's record this moment in time. Let it be known that we are here now. And let us look straight ahead into the camera in the hope of a happier year. Ready?